The recent diving tragedy in Tioman, where 2 Singaporeans died, has thrown the sport into the spotlight. According to dive instructor Leon Boy, who has been an instructor for over 6 years, there are dangers in diving because you are submerged in water, so divers need to have good training and practice basic safety measures. He has 3 tips for divers.
The first diving safety tip that I think is really important is making sure that you're comfortable in the water. Take responsibility for your own diving when you're doing diving training. Take more time in the pool if you need to. Make sure that you're comfortable before you get into open water diving. Second tip I can give you guys, pretty commonly when at the beginner level, the mask actually doesn't fit so well, or the mask tends to slip when you're diving. So a good thing to check is always making sure that the skirt of the mask over here sits directly on the face and doesn't shift around during the dive so much. Another very important thing to check, I think, would be your gas supply, because that's what's keeping you alive underwater. So you want to make sure that your gas supply is sufficient for the time and the depth of the dive that you're doing. Also, during the dive, you want to make sure you're checking on this every 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that you're not too low, so much so that you're not able to ascend safely. The third thing I could probably recommend is really taking responsibility for your own diving, making sure you're comfortable with the people you're going diving with at a later stage, making sure you do your research before you plan an overseas trip. Find out a bit more about the local conditions, find out a little bit more about the operators that you're using. Are they safe? Are they reputable? What kind of safety standards do they have? Don't just go blindly into a trip or plan something last minute. I think a lot of research needs to be done, which I think nowadays you can do a lot online.
Last Saturday, a 35-year-old scientist and his 48-year-old diving instructor drowned while diving in the waters of Pulau Tioman Island in Malaysia. It was reported that their oxygen tanks had ran out of air.
It's quite sad that things like that happen. Personally, I feel this shouldn't happen. Precautions could have been taken to have helped. It's very unfortunate something like that happens. But diving is, at the end of the day, not an easy sport to get into. It is dangerous because there's water. So, you need to have good training and need to be comfortable in the water before you go diving.
Beginner diver Mei Ling recalls her first experience out at sea.
First time was very terrifying. It was getting darker and everything was brownish. I didn't thought it would be that way, Then when we started to descend, I had earache. I tried to equalize my ear, but then wasn't working. And then luckily my diving instructor Leon, he was like saying, he was looking at me and from bottom, and then he was like, kind of like telling me slowly, calm down, So yeah, I made it, and then because we were diving in a group, so I felt more not so bad. I know there are people around me, and then they are going to take care of me, and then I felt more comfortable.
According to Leon, more people are picking up the sport.
Part of the trend over the years has been the budget airlines getting more and more popular, more and more routes to Southeast Asia, making it easier for people to fly. And that's in part also, started this whole travel boom. And a lot of people are getting into diving because Southeast Asia is one of the best places in the world to go diving.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, they are very interested. A few of them just got their diving license as well. It's interesting in a way that we get to see, a different world, sea animals and different things which we can see every day. And it's like sort of like a vacation for us as well.
So for divers and those thinking about taking the plunge and picking up the sport, keep in mind these safety tips the next time you go out to sea.